Yes, guys, before we dive into part 2 of this training, the £6 million closing framework, I just wanted to remind you that in the description, you're going to find a bunch of links to different trainings, links to my Instagram. So if you aren't already following me, hop over to there, drop me a follow. And because we're here on YouTube, make sure to drop me a like. It massively helps to fuel my ego. Also, make sure to subscribe. I'm going to be dropping videos here at least twice per week, all with the aim of helping you to grow your coaching business to a consistent 20K per month. And that's without doing any element of cold outreach, focusing all your time, energy, and attention on following trends and trying to go viral, but helping you to create a business that provides way less stress and a lot more profit. Hope you enjoyed the video. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below, and I'll see you in the next one. So let's dive into some common mistakes and what not to do. The rapport trap. So this is what I alluded to a little bit before. Spending too much time on weather, kids, location, all of these various type of things. Ask a couple of questions, get a little smile, move on. It doesn't really matter. Asking surface level questions that don't move the conversation forward. Just don't get stuck in, again, if you're a fitness coach, don't get stuck in, well, what is it that you do in the gym? How many times a week do you go? Ooh, what you do when you're there? It doesn't matter. It doesn't move the conversation forward. Getting stuck in areas that don't matter. Again, just getting stuck in the weeds that just do not matter. You're not really getting anything that gives you an idea of why they might be in that problem, or reasons why they haven't been able to achieve that result, or reasons why they are fearful. Like, it just does, other than anything outside of that, really. I mean, there's a lot to it, but they don't really matter. Don't get stuck in the weeds. The surface level problem. Asking about specific foods or gym routines instead of deeper motivations. Getting surface level answers without probing deeper, missing pain, pleasure, and consequence opportunities. So one of the things that I always like to ask, let's say if they tell you that I struggle with this, or I feel this way because, one way to get something out of him is to be like, where do you think that comes from? Why do you think that way? Where does that come from? Or how long have you had, how long do you think that's been a problem for, the way that you think that way? Because what you're doing is you're going to make them think backwards. You're going to make them go into their history and really try and come to a conclusion as to why they think the way that they do. And like, the likelihood is they'll be able to pinpoint moments in time. And those moments in time will be years ago. Years and years and years and years and years ago. Time is one of the biggest aggravators that we have. Because if somebody's had a particular thought process or behavior or whatever it might be, a particular type of mindset, and they've had it for 15 to 20 years, when they bring that to the surface and say it out loud, a penny will drop. Oh my God, I can't get what I want based on the person that I am today. And this is what we're trying to do. We're trying to help people basically create a new identity, a completely new identity, because where you want to be, and I'm talking to you right now watching this video, where you want to be, you will identify completely differently to the place that you're in right now. If you want to make more money in your business, if you're making $5,000 a month and you want to make 20 grand a month, you need to take on the behaviors of the people that can achieve that, that do achieve that are achieving it. And it's probably very different to what you're doing now. Just like when you first started the business, you'll have taken on different behaviors, language patterns, and all these various different things as to where you are now. It's a continuous development. And that is hard. We're asking people to change. Always bear that in mind. So the fear blindness. So failing to identify fear early in the conversation, missing signals that indicate future objections, and not recognizing hesitation patterns. Now, hesitation patterns are really an easy one. You ask a question and they go, I don't know, maybe, I think so. Now, what most people do is, what, you think so? What do you mean you think so? Whenever there's hesitation, you pause. 1, it's very effective. 2, it could keep them talking and you might miss something if you've chimed in. But 3, it makes them think, makes them continue to think of what they've just said. The more we can help them to think about what it is that they're saying, the better answers that you're going to get. Oh, I don't know, I think so. Yeah, so I'm waiting to see if they say anything else. And if they don't, okay. And again, it's always better to be slow in your response instead of why do you only think so? What you think about, what is he unsure of? Sounds like you're attacking them. Okay. Tell me though, what is it that makes you so unsure? Or why is it that you maybe only think so? Help me understand where the hesitancy is. The slower and the more calm you are, the more of an impact that you're going to get, because what you've basically just done is said, I'm going to listen because you've given them the space and the time to do so, but also I have empathy and I understand where you're at. Let's dive into this deeper. We're not going until I figure out a way to help you. Again, this is all about having an impact. The excitement pitch. So pitching immediately after future pacing, we've covered that. Leading with features instead of specific solutions, we're going to cover that in big detail when it comes to the main training on around this. And the objection panic, not handling objections at all, being combative and confrontational. We're going to save that one for the objection handling training. So what this framework achieves: authority and leadership, position yourself as the expert, belief system rewiring, which is key. So challenge and break down limiting beliefs, continuous objection handling. So we're going to be doing it throughout the entire call conversation, specific pitching, efficient objection resolution. So only work with 10 out of 10 prospects. Now, what I mean by that is our job isn't to convince anybody that doesn't want to do this program that they should do the program. We're going to give them the ability to run away as often as possible. You only want to work with the people. Yes, fear is going to come up and you're going to get hesitation, but you only want to work with the people that keep fighting to pull themselves back in. They keep selling themselves into the program because they're ready. They just need the confidence to make the decision. Somebody that says, nah, it's not for me, blah, blah, blah. Fine. We leave those guys alone. We do not try and convince them otherwise. You can't make anybody do something that they don't want to do, but you can help someone to figure out whether it is something that they actually do want to do. They just need that nudge and that help. There's a complete difference. High level of service, that's what we're doing throughout, and cash collection. So reduce reliance on monthly payment plans. So a paid in full is closure. A payment plan is typically risk aversion. Not for everybody, but a paid in full, and you'll know this from your own people, the guys that you get paid in fulls from, they are committed at a completely different level. Now, what I'd never, ever, ever want you to do, and I'm going to say it now so I don't forget to do the trainings, is never tell somebody that the people who pay in full are typically more committed, because you're going to piss them off. Because if I pay for something monthly, it doesn't mean that I'm not as committed. There's just going to be a reason why a payment plan would typically work for me. Now, I'm someone that would always sort of pay in full, but there is an element of toe dipping for some people, aka I'm going to see how this goes. They're still committed, but they're going to see how it goes. Anyway, there's nuance to it. We're going to talk about that in a different training. So let's get into it. Let's get into the major sort of phases. So phase one, the big goal. So this is the foundation. This is where the sale can start and finish. You can lose everything in this first phase, because if you don't get enough information, none of the rest of it's going to work and it's not going to matter. And this is where I see a lot of people fall down in the sale call reviews. So this phase determines your leverage for the entire conversation. Key principles then, so skip the rapport building. Ask one or two questions and then just dive in. You need to get good at what those questions would be, especially if you come across somebody that doesn't want to talk. We need to be able to kind of get them out of their shell a little bit, but we don't need to spend 10 minutes. We do not have, right, I've come across some, so when I come on board and try and help and build out sales teams, I'll obviously go through their entire sales process, any scripts that they've got and yada, yada, yada. And there was a company, it was a fitness company, and the first part of their call, the sales rep, or it was the founder at that time, spent, and we timed it, roughly 8.5 minutes of the call talking. 8.5 minutes. It was an entire history of the company, of the coach themselves. Like, they were just talking about themselves, why they're there, blah, 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 what they're looking for, and all these various different things. Now, can you imagine being on that call, just being spoken at for 8 minutes? You'll zone out, you won't care, and you think it's all about them. When people come onto calls, they want it and need it to be all about them. They do not care about you at all. I don't care what you think or say. They do not care about you. They aren't there for you. They're there for them. Can this guy solve my problem? Hopefully. Let's find out. So delivery requirements, and this is common throughout. Confidence, conviction, and clarity. Believe in what you're asking. Stand behind your purpose. Don't waver if somebody challenges back. Just be confident, be strong. This is your call. This is your world. This is your domain. They need your help. So this goes by your rules. clarity. Be direct and specific with zero hesitation. Show leadership from the start. So if you're fumbling around questions because you think it's a bit uncomfortable to ask, they're going to sniff it and they're not going to answer it. Just take a second to think about what you're asking and then ask it. The less you stumble, the less you talk, the more impact that you're going to have. It's as simple as that. So these are the little sections of questions that we're going to ask. I need to understand their current situation. So as I mentioned before, what is it that you specifically need help with? What's the big goal you're trying to achieve? What are you currently doing to achieve that? How long have you been trying this approach? And do you think what you're doing will work? And then again, a really good thing from Bill Walsh that he always likes to ask is, do you think what you're doing will work? Or do you feel like you need to make some small changes? Now, what we're trying to do is get them agreeable to the fact that actually what they're doing isn't working. They might say that, yeah, what I'm doing, I think it will, I think it will get there. Right, okay. So why not just continue to do it that way and instead of asking for maybe getting some help from us? They're now going to have to explain their reasonings and so on and so forth. What it's effectively doing, it's a low resistance way to discredit what they're already doing. So here again, the skill all comes in between the lines. So you could ask these questions just back to back and you'll get some information. But the likelihood is you won't get enough. So don't skip unless you feel like you've got enough of what you're looking for. So let's have an example. What specifically do you feel like you need some help with? Or I feel like I need to lose some weight. I'm just struggling to lose some weight. Right, okay, so what's the big goal you're looking to? Not enough information. I want to know how much weight. We want to kind of get into it. You'll learn and develop the skill of what questions to ask when the information arises. So this is where, as an example, we want to start going backwards. In regards to, how much weight you're looking to lose. You're looking to lose about 10 pounds. When was the last time you were 10 pounds lighter? Oh, a little bit of a while ago, maybe sort of last year. Right, okay. And is it a case of you want to lose 10 pounds because you felt your best a year ago, or was there a period of time where you felt even better? Oh yeah, there's blah, blah, blah. Right, okay. Well, all things considered then, what is the big goal? Like, remove any kind of self-doubt, anything that you think is getting, or what you think you can achieve. Like, what is it that you absolutely would love to achieve? If none of those things that you felt like you needed help with were in the way, I'd love to lose sort of, 9 or 10 kilos. Right, okay. What are you currently doing in order to try and achieve that? Doing a bit of this, doing a bit of that. You can see where we can sort of go from here. And based on certain information that they provide us there, we could dig a little bit deeper. Unless they give us everything that we want, then we can just ask them this question. So timing and urgency. So again, this all sort of depends, because we don't want it to be a robotic conversation. This all depends with some of the information that they provide us. Because you've been trying to achieve this for so long, why is now the right time to make a change? What happened that made you want to change this? Or what was the catalyst for change for you? Was it this holiday coming up, or was it something else? AKA, I'm kind of not accepting your answer. I feel like I need to hear more. What happens if you wait another 6 months is a really good question to ask. Even though that's not a consequence, it's a bit like a consequence question. We want to ask it. You can ask it, especially if they've given you some time period, like, we've been trying to achieve this for years or a few months, or even if they say, I've only been trying a few weeks. Right, okay. Well, what happens if you wait another 6 months before doing anything? They'll likely say is, I'll probably gain more weight. And is that what you want? No. Would you be or would you be happy with that? Oh, no, absolutely not. Why not? Oh, because of this, and this, and this. And let's just say, for example, you say, well, what happens if you wait another 6 months? And they say, well, it's just more of the same. You might think is a dead end, but actually, would you be happy with more of the same? Are you happy with the way things are right now? No, definitely not. Or I wouldn't have, otherwise I wouldn't be on this call. Right, okay. So with things being more of the same in 6 months, what's the kind of effects of that? How's that going to make you feel? So there's always an answer. There's always another question that we can ask. Let's get into phase 2. This is where we want to start to create this new reality. Right, okay, we're going to end that there again. I don't want to make these videos too long. I want you to be able to consume what you've seen and put it into action as quickly as possible. Let's be honest, no one's going to sit here and watch an hour-long video on YouTube. So join me in part 3, where we're going to start to cover the brand new reality, or what some people may call future pace, and then the consequence, which is the key to be doing just before we dive into our pitches. Most people will pitch off the back of a future pace, off of excitement, but the issue here is you are absolutely guaranteeing yourself to face objections, and now your only way to handle the objection is based on the cost of inaction, of not buying your program, which stinks of a sales pitch. So join me in part 3, where we're going to overcome that and ensure that you get as close as possible to no objections. They will come up anyway, but I'm going to teach you how to overcome them in a future video. But as we said before, make sure to like it, drop a comment below with what you found the most kind of valuable thing from this video. Please make sure to subscribe as well. It helps me. I'm going to be delivering videos twice a week at least. And also check the description with all the links in there for all the free stuff that you can grab, more value, more trainings, and just hop over to Instagram, drop me a follow. That'd be nice as well. Catch you in the next video.